Well, all right. I'm pretty sure that my podcast co host Kyle is currently writing a thank you letter to the Washington Commanders as we speak, as his number two prospect in this draft, my number two prospect in this draft, and the consensus number two prospect in this draft on the consensus big board. Drake Maye goes at number three to the New England Patriots. And listen, I made a whole video, I don't want to really say defending the Daniels pick, but just saying, hey, if you're a Commanders fan, don't be upset about it. Be excited about it, because he's a great prospect, and I'm sure Patriots fans would have been fine if they ended up with Daniels. But if I'm a Patriots fan, I am more excited to end up with Maye, who I think is the better prospect. I just do. There's a lot of really good stuff on his film. So yeah, we're gonna get into all of that, the good, the bad. There definitely is bad. What it means for New England going forward, because I definitely think there's some intrigue there as well for the Patriots of that the scheme fit and all of that. Real quick though, just to get a couple of plugs out of the way, make sure that you hey, hit the subscribe button. Got videos coming for every pick in this round and plenty of stuff for the future. I am also going to have a recap of each team's draft this weekend. I will give one for 32 videos, one for each team. So be on the lookout for the Patriots recap coming up in a couple of days. If you're a Patriots fan watching this, or if you're not, then whatever team you are a fan of, definitely check that out. But yeah, also, I should mention the movie channel. Check out the movie channel if you want. I talk about movies. It's a lot of fun trying to get that channel off the ground. I'm just having fun with it. So, link is in the description for that if you're interested. Jackson Kruger movies. But, yeah, sorry, long tangent. Back to Drake Maye, who is a really interesting prospect. So there are undeniably negatives in his game, and that's why he ended up falling to number three, and that's why some people really don't love him as a prospect. He is someone who, like to read off my notes for a bit, he's never seen a throw he can't make. He hasn't. He tries for everything. He, can have some real head-scratching throws. He can get a bit off rhythm for sure, and he takes too many sacks. The reason why I'm not as concerned about that as I maybe would be if it was someone else, the guy's 21 years old. That's just not as concerning as if he was, an older prospect. It just isn't for me. And there's a lot of actual evidence to support that when you're younger and you make mistakes, you are more likely to correct those mistakes than when you're older, which just logically makes sense. But also, it's nice that there is evidence to support it. So while I understand why maybe Washington is saying, let's get the better player right now, even if he's a couple years older, I'm not as concerned about some of the issues. And again, the Justin Herbert comparisons are understandable. The guy is, 6'4", 230. He's an incredible athlete. He does have really good accuracy. He can throw a great deep ball, and he can throw off balance really well. So, I do see, I get why that's what people feel. I really do. I think that there is a real positive to his game. And I just, for me personally, I'm just not as concerned about some of those negatives. And I think it's kind of a bit of maybe one of those situations where someone who just kind of casually watches says, oh, this guy's great. And someone who pays too much attention will then say, well, actually, there's these little nitpicks that I have. But then kind of when you pay even more attention, you're like, well, no, actually, this guy's great. That's kind of maybe what I feel about Drake Maye, and I could be wrong. Because again, I think part of what the discussion comes down to is what kind of prospect are you looking for? Because neither one of these guys are perfect prospects. Caleb Williams is as close to a perfect prospect as I've seen since making this YouTube channel. And even him, there are some issues with his game. There's no such thing as a perfect quarterback prospect. Everybody could be a bust. That's just how you have to view it. But it's kind of like, are you more willing to go with a guy who has higher bust potential, or a guy who maybe you feel like can do more things right now, but maybe doesn't quite have the ceiling? I do feel Maye is a boomer bust prospect, but for me personally, those are two good options. They really are. Obviously, boom is the best option, but the worst case scenario is the Giants have Daniel Jones for 5 years and still don't know if he's good. And even now, they've had him for 6 years and still don't know exactly how good he is. I think we might know how good he is, but that's a discussion for another day. But the Buccaneers had 5 years of Jameis Winston because they couldn't figure out if he was good or not, right? How long did the Titans have Marcus Mariota? Say what you want about Zach Wilson. At least the Jets knew after year 2, let's move on. Time to get another guy, right? So Drake May, that's a positive potentially. I still think that Drake May has a very high likelihood of succeeding among, again, young quarterbacks have a very low likelihood of succeeding in general just because it's hard to find a great quarterback. But I think his odds are better than your average number 2 overall pick at the quarterback position. I really do. I think that the odds go down a bit when we talk about where he got drafted to, the New England Patriots, which are I like some of what the Patriots have on their roster. It's not on the offensive side, though. That's just not the case. Their offense is tough. The offensive line is not very good. The offensive line has players. I think they could use another guy or two. But the wide receiving core is a mess. And, something we talk about on this channel a lot is the number one predictor of success at the quarterback position is, how good of a position were you put in to succeed? And for someone like Drake May, he is not in a great position to succeed right now. He just isn't. And it's a first-year coach. I feel people are forgetting that Bill Belichick isn't there anymore. They kind of talk about it's the Patriots, the Patriot way. Listen, I get that, I'm interested in seeing what Mayo can do, but it's, it isn't, it's a different situation. So a part of me does wonder, are they Bryce Younging it, right? The Panthers put Bryce Young into a horrible situation. Maybe Bryce Young was going to suck regardless. You never know. But he sucked last year. There's no getting around it. And now I think they're making an effort to try and improve the situation around Bryce Young. For the Patriots, I do feel like they could have maybe, the comparison I always make is, or I should say I have been making these past couple years, is the Jaguars went out and they paid Christian Kirk a big contract after Lawrence had an awful first year just to get a guy in the room. And was it an overpay? Sure. But it helped get development out of Lawrence. So that's kind of why it was probably still the right move, even if it was an overpay. Would have liked to see that from the Patriots. They didn't do it, though. So it doesn't matter. They don't have a great situation. They have, a lot of good, I like KJ Osborne. I don't think that he should have been their only real addition, but I like him. And, they do have a high second-round pick. I wonder if they use that to try and help out the Drake May situation, which I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if that's what they decide to do. And it's what I would do personally. But again, if you're a Patriots fan, it's exciting times. It just is. Drake May is a really good prospect. Whether he was your favorite or you like Daniels more, either way, if you're a Patriots fan, I think you should be excited about this move. As I said, you never know with young quarterbacks, but there's definitely reason to believe he could be very good. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.